Thank you. Approval of minutes from November the 17th. They are attached. So we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of November the 17th.
I move.
Do we have a second on that motion?
A second.
Do we have any discussion regarding the minutes from November? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Old business, chairman's report. The first thing I'd like to talk about is this Plinton Chintz article, which you have copies of. And it's a very good article that outlines the difference between an interior designer and interior decorator. And it's got some really good talking points about pure aesthetics versus health, safety, and welfare. And so Sandy actually emailed the magazine and got permission to copy this or to place this.
Yes, they sent us the actual copy and told us feel free to use it as we needed it. And he sent me some other articles too. I
On
just
their
didn't see them
website?
as good.
Well, that's part of the discussion about what we want
What
to
we
do with
wanna
this. We could post it on our website. We could, I don't know, what else might we want to do with this? I think it's a good article too to perhaps send to some of the state fire marshal. Some
Well,
of
we
the
were talking about the magazines too.
right, and maybe this could be part of the article.
Right,
So,
Well, even just the table that's on here,
right.
that's by Lisa Whited. Is that how she says her name?
yeah, why did?
Whited?
Mhm.
And even if we want to just use the table, I'm sure we could get permission
love
from
that
Lisa.
table.
Yeah, and Lisa, I mean, yeah, Lisa's done a good job making the difference between interior design and interior decoration.
And interior design and architecture.
Yes.
She's got a new article out we may ask for.
Lisa, you mean?
Yeah, Lisa just did a study looking at the differences between interior design and architecture that might be interesting to look at.
Like wall finishes, this is a pretty good one. Under the licensed designer evaluates the appropriateness of type based upon durability, acoustic property, cleanability, flame retardancy, allergens, toxicity, and off-gassing properties. Whereas in the arena of decoration, it selects color, style, and texture. So I think this is a good comparison on lots of line items. Welcome, Carolyn.
Hello.
We just got started.
Very good.
So the
You
first,
figured you were in traffic.
Yes, to allow that extra bit to get a little further down the road.
it's hard getting in and out of Baton Rouge
It
today.
is.
So the first thing we're talking about is the article that was in Plinton Chintz that you have a
Yes.
copy of here.
Okay.
And discussing if we might, and Sandy has actually gotten approval for us to reprint the article as long as we tell them what it's going to be used for, correct? So we were thinking about placing it on our website, perhaps sending it to State Fire Marshal and some of the other agencies, using it as the basis of an article that Joanne was just talking about, trying to get some articles in some of these local magazines, you know, like New Orleans Home, or what's the one in Baton Rouge?
Baton Rouge Home.
Home and Garden, something like that, or Louisiana Home and Garden. I'm trying to think of, we have like 3 or 4 of them. One of them is this little bitty, now they've gone into this little bitty, kind of copy. Then there's 225 that does things on houses and,
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff.
Articles on
and then even Louisiana Life, which is a finer magazine, if we could, maybe.
Anywhere.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it just, I think like placing it on our website, we need to probably do that, but it's not gonna help get the word out because designers already know what they do. I mean, more or less.
Does anybody know, anybody that writes those articles or anything for those papers or magazines?
As I said, we have a PR person
Yeah.
that could probably assist us, and she has contacts. I think a lot of our alum talk about why don't we get more information out, and they cite in register, especially the residential firms say that that's a real, it's a different market.
It's the like who
Yeah,
was at what
definitely.
party,
I'm trying to
society
think of
type.
people.
Yeah,
Not
but it is a
advertising big
market
in there
for
right
that
now,
high-end
so-
residential.
if you advertise, it's a lot easier to get into the magazine.
And you probably advertise
Well,
on
we
it?
did, I don't know, we kind of have cut our budget, you know how that goes. So it's a lot of cutting budget right now, but anyway, I would think we gotta know somebody.
Well, maybe each of us in our own areas can look at the magazines, the local
Yeah.
magazines. Karen, do you know anybody in New Orleans at any of those magazines?
I want to say that it was either Ginger Grand or, who's the lady that works with you? That's licensed. Oh my gosh, what's
Oh,
her name?
Gretchen
Yeah,
Warren?
Gretchen. It was either Ginger Grand or Gretchen who told me that they had a contact.
Yeah, sure. Can't you send out that email to everybody, see if they have you know,
Yeah,
tell them
I think that's a
the
good
idea or
idea.
something?
And if we put this on the website,
Surely somebody knows.
you know, we could tell people, this is what you should use as talking points.
And we need to get it out there. Does anybody know that somebody that writes columns or?
Do we
Oh,
have
my
like,
God.
I never really go to the website, so I'm
Feature,
gonna ask.
column.
Do we have like, designers who do certain works on the website? Do people promote themselves on our website or any of that? No, okay,
They're not promoted, it's just everyone who's licensed is listed.
okay.
And if they have a specialty, it's listed on the mentoring page. I'm not sure that it's listed on the just find an interior designer page.
Well, do you find that there are other people besides designers that click onto the website or not?
I don't think so. Sandy, do you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely, from the Google Analytics, yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, then maybe
People
this ought to
looking
be
for
written.
designers.
Yeah, well, this ought to be written with the listing of designers. Then that ought to go on with this, so that you understand what they do. And then this is our list of designers and who's has specialty. What about that?
Yeah, what would be involved in doing that? Is that
Just figuring out exactly where
How
we
we
want it
want it.
and then just giving it to the webmaster.
Do we have a volunteer to try to work on that? I mean, come up with well, you've got somebody that can do an article.
I'll work with Sandy.
Okay.
But if everyone would see who,
Yeah.
if they know any contacts.
Okay, so we need to see if we have any contacts with the magazine.
I might kind of like volunteer. I don't know if I can, my daughter was a graphic designer.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that would help out with anything. Maybe she could tell us what she thinks, maybe what needs to be done. She doesn't do that anymore, but she's
She's
done
got the
that for a long
background in
time.
it. All right, well, Sandy and TL will work on the article, and then we're all gonna look at the contacts that we have locally. And,
So what you want to do is look at putting this article somehow on our website and then either taking this or massaging this and adding a little da-da-da and get it out in different publications.
and once we establish which publications we want it to go to, then Sandy needs to get permission from the magazine again, specifically on those items.
The editor and I like that.
Well, actually, she was on the NCADQ board when I was, so I think I don't know if she remembers me or not.
Well, that's Lisa, but this is, I
I
got
know,
the.
Clinton Chintz person.
Oh, well, this is not from Clinton Chintz. The permission that I have is from.
Charlotte.
Is from
Lisa.
Interior Sources.
Oh, okay.
IDBJan2012.wmv.
Oh, okay.
Interiors and Sources, because Clinton Chintz reprinted it with permission of.
Oh, so this was already done, this is not
Yes.
sent back, okay.
Yes, so, I thought it was really kind of cool because I sent this email, like one of those like generic comment boxes, to asking about this article. And within 10 minutes, I had an email from the editor, and I was asking him questions. We probably went back and forth
Oh,
10 or 12 times that day.
Mike Savage, what's his
It's
name?
Mike something. I
Yeah,
have to look
well,
up what
and
his last name is.
the publisher of Interior and Sources, I was on the nominating committee for the board of directors, and we vetted him. He won. The publisher, I'm gonna forget his name right now. Mike something too. Is the new public member on the board of directors for NCIDQ.
Did you get
So
it?
that's a real
Thank you, Emma.
good contact.
Okay, that's all I had on that. The other thing I wanted to report to the board on is that we had a small task force that met with the LSU Executive Vice Chancellor, and the Dean of the College of Art and Design in December. And it was a very good meeting in terms of introducing the board to the Chancellor and the Dean and explaining the importance of licensure for interior designers in Louisiana and the health, safety, and welfare aspect of it. And so I think one of the follow-ups we're going to do is actually set up a meeting with the Dean and do the presentation the same as we did with the State Fire Marshal, so that they can understand exactly what we do and how that works. So that's kind of our next follow-up then. But we were lucky to have the audience, and we appreciated their time. And so I think we've got some roads on which we need to follow up. And I was just thinking too that we probably ought to set up some other meetings with some of the other chancellors of the other schools that have interior design, like University of Lafayette, Louisiana Tech.
I
So
just want to let them know what's going on.
Yeah, it would be a good thing to be proactive, because on that note, the dean has informed us that they refused to do our chair search and get the
To
seventh.
do what?
The whole issue was the seventh position in the external chair search. They've denied it.
You know, when the cut, I mean,
all the
So-
programs are being cut, every program. So I think it's important for us to get out there and meet with the schools and let them know how important the issue of health, safety, and welfare and the trained interior designer is to the legislation in
so
Louisiana.
TL, what does it mean? Do you think they're gonna merge?
All right.
Well, we were very disappointed, but we were heartened in that I did get the dean to say it was his decision about who would be the interim chair, and it was his decision about whether we are temporarily or permanently merged. So I talked with him about those issues, and I did get him to agree that he would not permanently merge us. So that was a big step, and the fact that it's his decision, not the provost. So,
But it's gonna be temporary?
well, we don't know. The fact, that's not a given.
Okay, that's what I mean. It's-
So the
Still
faculty,
don't know.
it's still up in the air, so what we need to do is act now and act fast. So that we're working on some presentations that we're gonna go to the dean with, and I think organizing any outside.
Yeah, I think similar to the
Input will
presentation we
be
made to
good.
the state fire marshal, where we can actually show what we do and the benefits to the health, safety, and welfare of the public
Show
and
it to who?
The dean.
I'm sure that he knows.
Well, he was at that meeting, but I think if you come in with some statistics about the economic impact and it might be possible.
and then we haven't visited the other schools yet, so that would be something we want to do too.
Okay.
And then the last item on my report is the part of the rules and regulations where the task force was talking about quantifying what programming means, quantifying what some of the terms that we take for granted means to somebody that's not familiar with it. And I think the last piece we have is a reflective ceiling plan to get to Anna, the description of what that entails and the life safety features involved in that. So, once we get that to Anna, then we'll have another task force conference call, go through the whole thing again, and then we'll be ready to move on it. Is that right, Anna?
Mhm.
Okay.
That's all I'm waiting for.
Yeah, we need to get moving on that.
Yeah.
huh?
And this is the blue book thing?
This is more of a description of what we do for the state fire marshal to put into our rules. Because when we say reflective ceiling plan, nobody knows what it means really.
Oh, right, I'm sorry,
Right.
I remember, yep.
So,
Schematics.
Programming and those other things, you need to be able to define them. So
Okay, can I
anyone
ask
who
you all
reads
about
this.
real quick, off the subject, the ADA, the new bathroom regulations, how come they enforcing them now and it doesn't change over till March? Do y'all have that problem here?
We should accomplish and ask them.
Well,
I don't know. That's a good question.
They're not supposed to.
Well, that's what I thought. It says March 15th. But they're enforcing it now. And I'm doing a bathroom renovation where I don't have any room to grow, so I just wanted to see if y'all had any experience in that area.
Can appeal. Right.
I'll appeal, but that takes so long. The bathroom's ripped out,
Yeah, you
wash
gotta
it out the appeal when it's not even
It's
enforced
not-
until
Did you
March
hire-
15th.
Did you hire a reviewer?
Yeah, she's the one that told us, tell him. Yeah, anyway, I just didn't know.
No,
about
but we haven't been familiar with that
The
yet.
bathrooms are large, have you seen it?
Yeah, they've
It's
added a
unbelievable.
lot of space to
It's
the
bad,
bathrooms.
y'all. It's gonna be bad.
Probably the
Your
size of my
bathroom-
condo.
It's probably gonna be 8 by 8, huh?
Almost. And you have to watch because we've noticed we're using a symbol off of AutoCAD that for our sink.
It doesn't work.
Doesn't work because now you have to worry about your
what I do.
actual size. Because
And
you have
your
to be out of the 5-foot turnaround.
Your bathroom and your toilet and your sink have to be so.
They're not
or a
allowed to
wheelchair
overlap.
to
They don't
get
overlap
over.
anymore.
No
So you don't-
overlaps.
So where you could not worry about it before, you
No
have to worry
overlaps
about
in
it
the
now.
door or underneath. Full circle.
No overlaps underneath,
None.
So you can't turn your wheelchair under the.
No.
which you always could before.
And you gotta get between the sink and the toilet. Like 4 feet or something.
5 foot clear at your toilet.
When we had the CEU at the beginning of last year
And
about the
handicap.
ADA,
So when you put the wheelchair, how
Did-
you don't get.
they pointed that out.
Yeah, they did.
They did.
Because I went and looked at it. But he said it doesn't, you know, it would come around in March. So when she told me now, and I'm going, wait a minute. So I went back to it and looked it up. Sure enough, the ADAG says March 15th. And then, but if you go on the fire marshal website, it says, we are now reviewing it as a 2010, per state code or something, per state mandate. And I go, well, what's the state
So
mandate?
something the code council did?
So the state has done something different than the
Which they
regulations.
can
But I
do.
want to read it. I want to see where it is in black and white, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that for sure. Adopt it early.
Why have a date on it? You know?
Give other states time. So that's all I had for my report. And today, administrative report, Sandy.
I have very little. I have two things. One, this time of the year, I always update you guys on renewals. We have only about 25 people who haven't renewed as of right now. And I expect about 9 of them just within the next week or so. 2 of them came in this morning's mail. So there's that. And then, just so you guys know, for some reason, the Louisiana Department of Revenue thinks that we were delinquent on our taxes in 2006 and 2007. So they sent $100 fines for each year. I pulled our records, we weren't delinquent, so I sent them certified mail yesterday with all of the documentation.
Can I ask for when we pay taxes on income?
No, salaries, employee salaries, withholdings.
Oh.
So have you heard back from them?
Well,
No,
surely that can't
I
be
just
too much.
received that this week, and I sent them certified mail back yesterday. Because
Okay.
they gave us 30 days to reply, and I decided certified mail instead of them saying we never got your response.
Right, no, that's good. Well, let me know if you get the response before the, you know, what the response is before the next board meeting, as soon as you get it.
Let me just ask him, so we're down 17 members from last year, is that,
Right now, we're down about 25.
but you said you thought we'll get 9?
Yeah, about 9
So
or
we'll be
10.
about
And
17?
I really think, looking at this list, that there's more that will come in.
Do we have an area in particular that's more prevalent as far as non-renewal?
No, I mean.
All over the state?
The biggest thing is it needs CEUs, needs
Really?
CEUs. Finishing CEUs. Completed their CEU, just finished their CEUs. Will be late renewing because they still need their CEUs.
Okay, let me ask you this question. If someone is delinquent and they make up their how long do they have to make up their CEUs? Or
Well,
is it not? Is it,
it's kind of a weird,
cut and dry?
it's kind of a weird question because, if they're practicing right now, they're without a license.
okay, let's say that they're not practicing right now, but they didn't get all their CEUs. If they do
If
it,
they get all their CEUs before December 31st of this year and pay their renewal fee and their delinquent fee, then they're right caught back up.
what I'm
But you
doing
can't be
is,
practicing without a license.
I know I suspect there's an educator on there that,
Not one of yours.
no, Brian Powell.
He's not on here.
He's not, did he get a CEU in?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. I was gonna,
Yeah, no, he made it in under the wire. He was one of those calling me like on December 31st.
I know. Well, I had talked to him, and I said, you better get your things in.
Actually, it's amazing how many people I spoke to on Christmas Eve, the day after Christmas, New Year's Eve, January 2nd.
People at home.
Yeah, how many CEU certificates were printed on December 31st from online courses? Christmas Day. I have CEU certificates of people doing CEUs on Christmas Day online. I mean, it's crazy. But no, he's good. He's done.
It's, well, I mean, just because he was gonna do that CEU that we were offering, and then
Yeah.
because of the weather and the plane cancellation, we had to cancel it until February.
Yeah,
So I felt bad,
yeah.
but.
No, he's good. He got it online.
And do they get another reminder from you about that?
Actually, what I do is, right after the new year, I sent them a letter. Last week, I sent an email out to everyone, and I probably had 10 to 15 people respond back. A few of them have moved, so I've updated that in their files. But, I mean, there's a couple of people on here that I think it's weird that they haven't responded. But the first week in February, cease and desist letters go out. And that usually creates another, oh my gosh, really? Okay, here's my renewal.
Have we, do you know how many licensed interns we have?
Right now, active,
Like one or
one or
two?
two, yeah.
I don't think we've done very well about publicizing this.
Well, I did, the reason I asked is because I did bring that up. I think we may have an opportunity to change that with the new testing. When I promoted the new opportunity for graduates to take the first part of the licensing exam, I put a little plug in that they could, that they could become intern interior designers, and then when they get a job, they can say that on their card to test the waters, and they liked that idea. So I think promoting that will be that now we have a better opportunity for them to see a reason to do it.
So we need to make sure that all the schools are aware of
Yeah,
that.
and I'll talk again. I'll have a special meeting with, and maybe you can come at LSU. And I've said I'll drive to Ruston.
We
I
can have a
will.
meeting in Sunlight.
What is
Everybody
that?
meet there. In
What is-
Alexandria.
Oh, get all the students.
No, I mean,
Have a board meeting there.
yeah. Well, not a board meeting, but, we want to discuss the schools. Get Lafayette,
Yeah.
Ruston,
Oh.
and you guys.
You mean get them,
Yeah.
the educators to meet there?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea.
At your house?
I'm ready.
You have a pool?
Yes.
Summertime.
Yeah, June 15th, we'll be there.
So we're gonna get a package together that we can maybe go meet with some of the students and then that's about.
We always talk about that, but we never do it.
Well, we've gone to Lafayette.
We have?
Yeah, I went in,
Oh, okay.
December.
it was November,
November.
late November, early December, and to talk about this new thing, so I want to get.
Well, I think the incentive of being able to sit for the NCIDQ when you're right after school, I think that's gonna be a big improvement. You know, while things are still fresh.
Yeah.
At least the school part of it. Sandy, anything else?
That's it.
Okay, legal report, Anna?
Okay, first of all, let me say there's no disciplinary report. There was nothing to report from the committee today, so we don't have to do that. We do have an issue which regards basically prospective litigation and formal written demand or litigation when an open meeting would have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body as subsection 2 of the exceptions. And it is my recommendation that we go into executive session.
So for that, we need a motion
Yes,
to go into executive session.
that's for that purpose.
I make a motion to go into the executive session.
And we need a second on
I
that.
second it.
Okay, and I have to do a roll call vote on that.
Okay.
So, give me 1 second, who am I missing here? Oh, it's you, all right. I'm just gonna go down the order I wrote them down. TL, you're simply voting yes or no, yes to go into
Yes.
executive session. Bob,
Right.
Hazel,
Yes.
Carbo,
Yes.
so improper. Carolyn,
Yes.
Joanne,
Yes.
and Deb.
Yes.
It's unanimous.
All right.
Look at every answer, the best way we can.
So that's a good thing that we only have maybe 17 people that haven't renewed, so that
Yeah.
line item.
Yeah,
is
you
so
can
good.
see line item wise.
That's right.
Mine.
And the income is looking good.
Yeah, it all looks pretty much same.
Anything you want to point out, Bob?
No, I just think I think the budget looks good. I don't see any problems, of anything that we don't have any excessive expenditures. Our income is good, and I think the budget is working fine. And I think it's going to be a fairly good year.
Okay.
Well, I think we're fortunate that we haven't seen a drop in certificate.
That many, yes.
Yeah, compared to other professions,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
very
We
fortunate.
are.
The people that are applying this time, will they have to pay only for like next year and not this
Right,
year?
they've already paid for this year for their fee, takes them through the whole year.
Oh, okay,
So they'll pay for 2013.
okay.
Excellent. All right, do we have any questions on the budget? Do we have a motion to approve the budget?
Move.
A second?
There is an
Second.
audience question.
Oh, sorry.
There is an audience question. Has the board made arrangements for modifying the lease for this particular building between this and the LALB?
I can't understand you.
I asked, has the board made provision for modifying the lease for this building between this agency and the LALB?
It hadn't been brought up.
It was just discussed at Monday's meeting, Robert.
Now would be the
So,
appropriate
It's
time?
not on the agenda for this meeting. The motion at the auctioneers board meeting was for that chairman and one board member.
That's why I'm asking. Have y'all even made them aware?
I'm sure that when I get the information, I will call right away.
I'm sorry, you will call?
Call whoever I need to talk to.
Very good.
Okay.
Well, I have one more. This is not my question, but I will ask
I'm
it.
sorry, can we go ahead and vote on the budget and then you can?
No, ma'am, because after you've taken the vote, I can't comment on it.
Oh, okay, it's on the budget, okay.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And this one is not on behalf of mine, but did this board ever take a formal vote for hiring security?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Can you tell me which meeting?
No, I can't.
I don't remember how long that was.
So I will be able to go back in the minutes and I'll see whether this board approved the hiring of security.
I think so.
It was done.
We'll have to look up
I don't think
ourselves.
anyone's expected to have the minutes memorized from the meeting, but
I've gone back quite a ways, but I'll go back further.
Well, we'll check as well,
Okay, thank you.
no problem.
That concludes it for me.
Okay, all right, we've had discussion and we've had questions, and all in favor of approval of the budget, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Review of applications for licensed interior designer status.
we have 4. We have Lacey Edgecombe from LSU. Everything's in order. We also have Deborah Holstein, if some of you know her name. She's very active in Mississippi and with ASID. So she's been around quite some time, but she's going to now be practicing in Louisiana. We also have, I don't know who does this to their child, but his name is Robert Roberts. But he is licensed in Texas and is asking for a license here.
Is he a resident of Texas?
He is a resident of Texas. NCIDQ, everything's in order.
What part of Texas?
Dallas.
Dallas.
And last, we have Kristen Willie, also from LSU, who works for Broadmoor in Metairie. And everything's in order for her as well.
Okay, let's take a few minutes and pass these around so we can take a look at the applications. Another LSU graduate.
Wonder where he's going to be practicing.
Probably Shreveport.
Oh, no, his office is in Dallas. I just think that they've got,
They've got projects
They
somewhere.
must have a project
here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, that's good that he knows he needs to get a license.
Hi, looking for Sandy?
That's me.
Josh here, look at your computer.
Oh, they didn't tell me for coming right today. Okay, that's
Oh,
fine. Let me
yeah.
just get the office and unlock it. Just a second. Excuse me, I'm just gonna go ahead and Oh, and you know, she may have called, but because I'm in a meeting.
He's got an architectural degree.
Well, I think this girl came back, Louisiana.
Bachelor of Architecture.
She was in, Houston, Texas, and came back.
What was her maiden name? Does she have it in
I think she
it? Lacey?
Lacy.
La Martina?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
So Lacey is a manufacturer's rep, right?
Yeah, she calls on him. She's, what is she?
very
She's
nice
a
guy.
very nice,
What's your rep for?
Lacey's, isn't that Lee's?
Mohawk?
No, the Mohawk group, Lee's, Bigelow. Greg Plant, he's in Jackson, Mississippi.
I'll call him when I need something.
Greg usually goes to Mississippi.
He just must be nice and not tell me it's someone else.
Not handing you off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Greg was ours before Lacey. They split the territory, I think, and Lacey's got Louisiana. But I know, she's really good.
What did they rep?
Lee's Carpet.
Bigelow.
Oh, we have Charlie's a hundred.
You can read it.
He does some of that. He does a lot of
I
hotels
know,
too.
yeah.
on his own.
Yeah.
It's good one to see in the whole year.
Hmm?
One to see in the whole.
Where did Lacey go to school?
LSU.
Yeah, you remember her?
Oh, yeah, I know Lacey really well.
I recognize Lacey when I opened her file.
I didn't realize she worked for Montgomery. No, she was there after Katrina. She must have gone to Houston.
What are they?
No, it's a real interesting firm. It's,
Montgomery Ross.
Elizabeth Roth, she's licensed with us, and also Sandra Garvin, licensed with
Sandra
us. Sandra's
Garvin.
been there, she's been there maybe 2-3 years now.
after, Roth is a interior designer, graduated from our program, then I think she went to Tulane and got a master's in architecture. And I think Montgomery is an architect, but they have a big firm. I went and visited them this year, and they went to Houston, they were in New Orleans, they went to Houston after Katrina. They're doing so well, they're like in one of the top 100 firms
Because Sandra
in
Garvin used to
Houston.
work for VH&B before me.
Who?
Sandra.
And she
She
worked for
went to
WHR, yeah.
Now she's at Montgomery Ross.
They do a lot of hospitality. Elizabeth Roth is just delightful, really delightful.
So has everybody,
Huh?
She's the only person that ever did it.
Yeah, really nice. And their firm has just done fantastic. They just got written up in a lot of articles.
all right, do we have a motion to approve Lacey Edgecombe, Deborah Holstein, Robert Roberts, and Kristen Willie?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
A second.
All in favor, or any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Review of application for inactive status. Jackie
Yes.
Martin.
We have 2, yes. Jacqueline officially. She writes on her inactive request that she had a stroke March 21st, 2011, leaving her eyesight greatly impaired. She's not able to drive, so she cannot work at this time. Please grant my request for inactive status for 1 year or until my eyesight improves. Thank you.
Yes.
We have a motion?
Motion.
Do we have a second? Any discussion on Jackie?
No.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Cynthia Mills?
Cynthia is, actually lives in Texas, but she writes, I've cut back on work here. I've worked on work because I'm semi-retired. Currently, I don't have any work in Louisiana and don't foresee any.
Should you put a note in there that you're only allowed to stay so long in case she decides to read?
Absolutely. It actually, on their application, it tells them that they can only be on inactive status for 4 years. But after you guys grant it, I will mail them each a letter, and again, it recaps
Okay.
exactly what they have to do during their inactive status.
So do we have a motion to approve Cynthia Mills for inactive?
A motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on that? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. So they're both approved. Thank you. NCIDQ report, TL?
Yes, we have some business from NCIDQ. On the date of our last meeting, a memorandum went out, so I didn't get it till after the meeting. But as the delegate, I have to vote. There is an amendment to the NCIDQ Articles of Incorporation. And it is such that I think it's easier if I just explain the points to the board. We can have any discussion, so you can I did get, the vote was supposed to be in yesterday, but I can send it in tomorrow because of our board meeting being delayed. The background is NCIDQ was incorporated as a nonprofit, governed by their Articles of Incorporation and then their bylaws. Right now, they've discovered that there's discrepancy between the Articles of when there is a discrepancy between the Articles of Incorporation and the bylaws, the Articles of Incorporation govern. And just briefly, when it was first, when the articles were first drawn up in '74, all the members were represented on the board. And so the board could conduct business on behalf of the members. So in the 90s, when the current form of the bylaws were created, the Council of Delegates was formed and the bylaws defined members as the council and further defined board of directors as a group elected by the council. The bylaws went on to state that the Council of Delegates was empowered to amend the bylaws. Since that time, the Articles of Incorporation and the bylaws have been in conflict. The 2011 Board of Directors wants to correct the conflict and therefore brought up this subject during our last Council of Delegates conference in November. There was a straw vote taken in which the delegates felt that they wanted to amend the articles and the Board of Directors to because of the conflict, the current Articles of Incorporation require the members, that is the Council of Delegates, to amend the articles, and the Board of Directors to amend the bylaws. So the board passed a motion to amend the Articles of Incorporation. The board's motion replaces the words Board of Directors with members in Article 7. So that it's resolved that the Article 7th of the Articles of Incorporation be changed in its entirety to, quote, 7th, the members shall have the power to make, alter, or repeal the bylaws of the corporation and shall exercise such other powers and have such duties as may be set forth in the bylaws, unquote. So that this change will bring the Articles of Incorporation in line with the bylaws and with the wishes of the delegates as is expressed during a straw poll that was taken. And in essence what this is that the board does not amend the bylaws that it requires a vote of the council, the delegates. And I don't know, Deb has sat on the board and whether you want to say anything or, I mean, they've put forth this resolution for us to,
Is there a particular subject or
Well, I guess that
something they want to change?
yeah, they want to change it so
There's
that.
gotta be an intention to this.
Right, the board wants to make it clear whether the council delegate members change the bylaws or the board does.
because they were in the wording was in conflict.
So right now, how is it? Is it the board does it? Oh, yeah, that's how it should be, right?
Well, it depends on if you think the council delegates, I don't know.
What's the council of delegates? I don't really
That's the
know what
people that,
Every
like-
state
The
has
members.
one.
They're like a
right?
liaison though, more.
Right.
Not a board.
Right.
So why would they?
Well, the history was originally, the articles are written that the members vote. But then when the bylaws were drawn up, the wording was put in that the board votes, thinking that the board and the members were the same thing, but in
they kinda
actuality,
used to
they are
be.
not.
Yeah, now I get it. Kind of like you represent all of us, right?
Yes,
right.
yes. So the delegates, when they took the straw vote, the majority of the delegates felt that the members should be the delegates and not the board, but
Yeah, they
changes to
didn't
the
want the board
bylaws.
making changes to the bylaws with
Right.
the membership.
Right.
Right.
Seems like they should come up with some kind of, bipartisan kind of way to do this, because on the other hand, it's gonna be very difficult for the council of delegates to organize to actually effectively do things like that. So, I can see it both ways.
Do the delegates go to the board meetings each and every
No.
month?
No.
Just the
That's
annual
the problem.
conference, it would be a once-a-year
Yeah, that's the
opportunity to
problem.
make any changes.
What do you think, Tia?
Well, as that's why I wanted to talk to this board about it. I can see it both ways too. I can see that they want all the representation to vote on. Now, I can see also that it'll be harder to get things done.
So what type of things would they be voting on and how do you get to be a board member?
Well, you first become a delegate, like TL is right now, and you go to the council delegate meetings once a year. You serve on committees, like TL's been on the IDEP committee and on the.
How'd she become a delegate?
We elected her.
The board picks someone.
And, yeah, and Carolyn is our alternate.
And
There's
Carol's
no,
our alternate.
that position is,
And is this one
Subject.
from each?
Member
state?
board.
yeah, now some of them, like the bigger states like Texas, bring a delegation.
Okay.
But they only can have.
But we've done that too.
One or two votes. Yeah,
We've-
one vote.
When
When
we
it was
all
in
went.
Texas and it was close enough, more people went.
So there's a variety of people. So when you delegate, you go to
But
be a board
even
member.
when we all went, we still only had one vote.
Yeah, every member board only
The
has
vote-
one
the-
vote.
the-
But that's why I try to bring things, votes
Yeah.
of consequence back to you. And I think the board too, but if the board is gonna make a change, and I think they would be the ones that would see changes that need to be made, although committees oftentimes submit it to the board. Like in a policy committee, we see that there's something that we think needs to be changed in the bylaws, we make a recommendation to the board, and then the board would bring it up to vote in the council of
But
delegates.
the board will still have to be the overseer or the catalyst, but it would be subject to a vote at the annual conference, right?
Right.
By the
Yeah,
members.
from being at the meeting, I'm sorry, the impression that I got was that the delegates did not want to give the board that much
control.
power,
Mhm.
that just because you don't see us for a year doesn't mean you can completely change
Right.
the way we know things. So if there are gonna be changes to the constitution or bylaws, then
It
those
still
are
has to
really
be-
important, and the delegates wanted to be in charge of that.
I think has merit.
And I think that works in the fact that the board is still probably gonna come up with
Mm-hmm.
any bylaw changes that need to
Yeah,
happen.
because they're,
But they won't be promulgated until they're voted on by the council
Well, I think
delegates.
that's a good idea. Let them make a recommendation or whatever, then everybody has to vote.
Right. So we're gonna say that we agree with having the delegates vote on it. Is everybody in agreement on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
good. I felt,
Thank you for bringing that to us.
you're welcome. And, just a little aside, I may have told you this. Yeah, I did get I was asked to be chair of the IDEP committee
Oh, awesome.
this year, and they're actually looking at how Louisiana did the outreach to students to encourage them as a model.
That's good.
And particularly the way the website is set up.
Particularly the
Awesome.
website.
Because we now have a situation where we've got more volunteers than we have
And I
available
have,
positions
I
due to
have
the
an
economy.
intern.
Oh, do you
I'm
really?
going to be a mentor.
That's
Oh, good.
fantastic.
How'd you get that?
Well, she's been hired by Jimmy Guillory down in Marksville. And they contacted me because they come to the AIA meetings in Alexandria once a month. And I'm just going to be the mentor. So we're still getting ourselves
Excellent.
organized.
Yeah,
And,
you can be the pilot case for us.
I know.
Well, there's great pamphlet and everything from NCIDQ. So.
I'm sure I have it somewhere.
Did they vote on the,
There's a link on our website,
letting
too.
the recent graduates sit for part of the exam?
Yes,
That's a
have I
done
not
deal,
tell, yeah, that is
Well, we wanted to go into it more.
okay. Yes, this is very exciting. This is what I did discuss with Lafayette when I went over there and did last month. They have put out the notification that the NCIDQ, the 3 parts of the exam, they're making changes. So the first part will now be what they call, I think they're going to call it foundations. So it's the kind of knowledge that, the basic knowledge you learn in school. And then the second multiple choice will be knowledge that you get through experience, and the third part will be the practicum like it was before. And they're going to allow, starting in 2013, next year, that graduating seniors can take that first exam, so that we bring them in. And then the exciting thing is those that take the exam can then do the IDEP program for free. So we will get more students doing the IDEP program so that they will have a supervised and mentoring during their internship. And it also is great that the record keeping is done. So that's all in place if they change firms or anything. And then they take, just as before, once they complete their hours, then they take the second and third part of the exam. So that's a big change. I think it's really exciting. I think it's a way to bring those recent grads in.
Well, when I graduated from, when I was in Texas University, the junior year, we formed an AID student chapter at Texas University at that time. And when I came out and started into practice, I was a student affiliate of AID. So I never got out of AID and went right on into ASID when it changed over. So that's the same thing
It's
that
the
they're doing
same
here.
thing, and I think it's such a
great.
smart move. It's
You
such a
don't
smart-
lose, you don't lose
lose
your
contact
student
for
and you
2
don't lose your
years.
contact.
Yeah, I did the same
Well-
thing. This
Yeah.
year.
Yeah,
In
and the
California.
thing I think that's good is because they're used to taking exams, they're not as intimidated. They go ahead and take it, see that it's not this horrible, evil, big mountain kind of thing, and then they'll be more willing to, I think, stick with it.
Kind of like
And-
1 down, 2 to go.
And I think too, what is good for us is, and what I'm talking about when I'm talking to the students about that, is encouraging them to then sign up and become an intern with the state board and have that credential. So I think it'll help us bring people in too, just like we've tried to do with the Bulani
I
scholarship.
think that's excellent. So what we need to do now is get the word out to the schools,
Yeah.
all the schools. So, anyway, I think it's a great idea, and it's only testing those things that you should learn in school anyway, not things that you're gonna learn in job.
Right.
Okay, TL, any more for NCAQ?
No, and that is it.
Any questions on that report? Okay, CEU committee report, letter from ASID New Orleans chapter. Is that in here?
No, I'm sorry, I have a copy of it right here. Just to go back to the last meeting, there was a discussion on the fact that they had sent out a save the date flyer for their continuing education event, and they advertised it as state board approved. But yet the applications for those classes didn't arrive for like a month and a half later. So you guys directed me to send them a letter, which I sent them a very nice letter. I thanked them for providing continuing education. It was very important for the licensees and all that hard work and effort they put into it. And then I just simply pointed out the facts. So we got a letter back from Marilyn Young. Do you want to read it?
I regret any confusion that may have occurred in relation to our save the date announcement. It had previously approved CEUs lined up at the time of the announcement. However, our Designing with Jazz chair wanted to have some new speakers and topics different from what we had in the past and was instructed to get them all approved by the board. Had these classes not been approved, the original ones would have been substituted. It's my understanding that we did not advertise the specific classes until they were actually approved. I can appreciate your concern, but rest assured, New Orleans District ASID will make every effort to follow all the rules. So, I think she had a backup plan if we didn't approve those CEUs.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So I let her know, thank you for the letter, and I let her know I'd share it with all of you.
Thank you.
So, I think, other than that, there's no action on the committee.
Okay.
But we will need to consider a spring CEU at the next meeting. No, we're not doing that
Remember that you
anymore.
guys
We gave it
said
up.
that the coalition would do the spring CEU.
Will do, did they give us a CEU, an update on the CEU? Have you gotten any updates from them?
I talked to Heidi about it a while back, but I've not gotten any.
Can you follow up with Heidi?
Yes.
Because normally we would be discussing our spring CEU about now.
Well, we talked about the content, and we had some comments to Heidi, which Sandy conveyed, and now we need to see where they are with that.
Yes, I'll do that.
Anything else on CEUs?
I need just one copy of the minutes now instead of the 4. I can just have it.
Next meeting date, March the 29th. Anybody got a problem with that date?
Nice, yeah.
Okay.
Already got it on the calendar.
Can I say something too about May 3rd, it's a Thursday,
Okay.
is the LSU design event, which we would like to have the board attend if they can. I just want to give you a
What
save the
time?
date. It's at 6 p.m. and the student, it isn't finalized. They're talking about having a speaker. Is it Scott Simon or Simon Scott?
Scott Simon.
It works either way.
Yeah, we've been trying to get a hold of him because they did a universal design experience this semester where all the students had to spend an afternoon in a wheelchair. They were given like a scavenger, the tasks they had to do, and the chancellor came and did it
No
with the
way.
students. Yeah,
No way. How was that?
it was great fun. So not the provost, the chancellor.
Yeah.
So
Mr. Mark.
anyway, they may have him, Scott Simon, come and speak about ADA issues, and then because of the new ADA rules,
And he's in a wheelchair.
he's in a wheelchair. But the main part of the event is the students post their work, and it's a studio walk, and and then after they give out awards and stuff. But anyone who would like to come or looking for
It's great to
interns,
check out the student work.
Future-
So fabulous. So fabulous.
future employees,
Right.
board members,
Board members.
licensees.
I mean, you can't all be around forever, right?
That's for sure.
Oh, thanks.
Any day now.
All right, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I said move.
You went to
Yeah.
We are adjourned.
Thank you. I got to run.
Thank you.